Hey everybody, this is Ryan the Geeky Veep. Welcome back to our video playlist on how to build a credit union loan, peer loan dashboard. If you remember, this is our end goal for our dashboard, and I've been walking you through how to grab the data and load it into Power BI. So that's where we left off. Let's go ahead and get started again. We'll go ahead and create some DAX formulas and put some visualizations on our dashboard and see what you can do. All right, so if you remember right, I have the credit union info and the loan data tables over here. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to actually pull in a visualization. So in Power BI, you have all these visualizations here. And if you want, you can also import a custom visual. Let me just real quickly show you where you can get those custom visuals. So if you go to the Microsoft Office store, you can get into the Power BI, custom visuals for Power BI. An easier way to do this is actually just Google custom visuals for Power BI. It should take you right here to the store. So a lot of third-party companies have made some really nice looking custom visuals out there, like a globe map. This is fantastic. Many more than what you see right here. These are just some of the more popular ones. So if you do this, you can download something and then you can pull it right into Power BI. Let's go back to our Power BI. I don't think we're going to use any custom visuals at this point, but we'll go ahead and pull in the your typical clustered column chart. This is just a regular bar chart. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to pull in the dollar of loans, but I don't like to just pull in a value that comes straight from the data. I like to put it into a DAX measure if I can. Let's pull cycle date over here as well. But either way, you can see the dollar value here of all the loans. So in 1994, this is called a tooltip, by the way, where it says cycle date year 1994, the total loans, which looks to be about $179 billion worth of loans. Okay. So you can hover over a particular bar and it'll tell you how much the value was. So rather than having the total, I want to have the average of the loan balance. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll create a few DAX measures here, very similar to what you would do in Power Pivot. For Power BI, you'd come to the Modeling tab, you measure, and then we'll call it, let's call it average loans, or average loan balances, equals. And if you remember, just like any formula you write in DAX, you start to type it in, AVE, there we go, we have average. So I don't want to continue typing, I tab over, and then I start to type the table name. For this one, it comes from the loan table, so I LO, tab or arrow down to dollar of loans, tab over, there we go. Close parentheses. And we want to make sure we have the table set to the loan data table. Okay, we'll choose a format of $1. I hit this X. Okay. So now I'm going to go back over here to my fields, and you'll notice the average loan balance. Let me expand that. Average loan balances has this little, it looks like a calculator icon. That means it's the measure that we just created. So I'm going to take this, I could drag it to the chart, but I'll do a different way. I'll actually drag it to the value over here. So there's many different ways you can pull information in. I'll hit X for the dollar loans I had on there before. So now if we go back to our chart, we can see in 1994, the average loan balance for a credit union, the average total loan balances was 14.6 million. And that has grown to 148.8 million. So 10 times in size in the 23 years that we've got covering here. Okay, that's interesting. So what we want to do is, this kind of tells us what the industry is, and now we want to say, well, we always want to be able to see our credit union. So maybe place a line over that. So how do we get so our credit union shows up all the time? Okay. New measure. My CU loan balances equals. And we're going to use the calculate button or formula, and we want the sum of loans but we only want it for our credit union. So let's pick a credit union. We want the CU info where the CU number equals something. For right now, I'll just put, I don't even know if this is credit union number or not. I'll put 99. Close, format. Okay. Let's pull that into our file, and we'll change the visualization. As long as this is selected, I come over and change the visualization to a clustered column chart and a line. Okay, and I'll pull my CU loan balance down to the line values. It's not showing up, so that tells us that we don't have an appropriate number used. So let's dive into the credit union information. We'll go to the data. Let's find somebody. How about state employees of Albany, New York? Credit union number 51. Okay. Close this. We'll go back to go back and edit any measure, you just click on that measure in the data set and notice it pops up. We actually want my credit union loan balance. There we go. Now it's popped up. One thing I made a mistake on, I want to put this into the loan data table. That's all you have to do. And we said credit union 51, right? All right. And notice, there we go. It showed up. So in 2016, the loan balance for this credit union that we chose was almost $2 billion, whereas the average loan balances was $148 million. So a big difference. And we can adjust the axes just to demonstrate that a little bit better, the discrepancy, because it almost looks like they both have the same amount. But what's interesting is that they both have the same direction, like growth, it appears, except for right here, it looks like this credit union that we're using had greater growth over this period. Okay, but then the industry finally caught up. Interesting. And what's great about this is now we can put in a filter. We'll go over to the data visual set here, put a slicer in here, and we're going to add the state to the slicer. Okay, so watch what happens as I click in a different state over here in the left. Watch what happens. Notice it changes the dollar amount. So for example, if I click on Florida, this tells me in 2016 the average loan balance per credit union was $272.8 million. Very interesting. Okay, and you can select like that. The problem is, what do we do? We lost our credit union, right? So we want to adjust the measure that we created so that no matter what I select on over here, it does not filter away my credit union. The only time we will see that Albany, New York line or that credit union pop up is if we select New York. There, see, there it is. So we want to make sure that no matter what state we select, we still see our credit union. Okay, So how do we do that? Well, we go back to our My Credit Union loan balances, and we're going to add another filter. So we'll do comma, and we're going to choose the all function, and we'll scroll down to, actually we'll do CU info state. So I don't have the time or the scope here, it's beyond the scope of this video to explain what every single formula does, but just know that once I click all, type in all, this tells me that no matter what I've selected, give me everything for that particular parameter. So I had to put state in there. Now if I had a filter that had city, I'd put all and then credit union info city, so I'd still see my credit union. So let's see if this works. There it is. So no matter what state I choose now, I'll go to Massachusetts, Maine, Michigan, and so forth. It always shows up. And that's what you want in a pure dashboard. So now no matter what state, I see it. Love that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this filter. Okay. So there we have our first visualization. Now we can go in and we can edit it a little bit, format it. Data labels, we could put that on there. Let's choose a title. It already puts a default title in there, but we'll change it. We'll call it average loan balance by year. It's gray, so we'll change it to black, whatever you want. We'll center it and we'll enlarge it. And there you can see. There we go. I think it looks pretty good. And then finally, I like borders around my information. There. Okay, that's our first visualization. We put in one DAX formula. Actually, two DAX formulas, the average loan balances and the loan balance for my credit union. So we've got two DAX formulas that we've used so far. The next thing I want to do is we're going to pull in a custom visualization. Actually, I told you I wasn't, but I'm going to do that. We're going to pull in a map. So I'm going to import a custom visual. And my suggestion is download as many custom visuals as you want. Put them in a folder where you can easily access them. They're all together. I'm going to pull in this globe map. Now, back to the visualizations. Once I did that, you can see it arrives down here. This is the globe map. Pull that right in here. And what we want to do on this globe map, we want to have the average loan balances. Okay. And we want to have the state be the location. But I will show you, if you look into this globe map, the taller the bar, the higher the average balance for loans. So, but let's say, you know, I didn't like this visualization. I don't have to delete it. I don't have to start from scratch. I can come over here, and as long as this one is selected, I can click on a new visualization. It automatically changes it for me. So I like that. So if I click on a particular state, let's click on Texas. Notice it filters everything over here. Oklahoma, it continues to filter everything to the left. I don't like this gray. So this is cross filtering. I don't like this gray part here. It always holds the value of the entire nation, and then what the state itself is. I just want the value of the state. So we have this cross filtering we have to fix. We're going to go to format and then edit interactions. And for this, I'm going to change it to this filter here. We'll unselect this. Now watch what happens when I click on, say, Texas, Oklahoma, and so forth. It doesn't show that gray piece. So depends on how you want to see your visualization. You can mess around. There's a lot of different formatting that you can do. So let's go ahead and complete this visualization. Give it a title. What we want to do to make this an interactive dashboard, we want to ask people to choose a state. So please choose a state. And let's say we want, anytime we want them to interact, we make the title red. We'll center it, make it larger, and then we'll click border on. That looks pretty good. But the last thing we should do is maybe we want to change the color. I don't want to have green all the time. This is the default visualization color. Let's go up to data colors. Now, the smallest average balance is going to get this color. The large average balance is going to get this color. So if you notice over here, this average balance for California, actually it's Virginia and North Carolina that appear to have the largest average balances. So they have the darker green, and then you can see some of the lighter green, such as North Dakota at 30. I don't think this is easy to quite tell. If you do, leave it that way. But I want to go ahead, I'm going to click on diverging. And the minimum color, let's say, what do we want to do? We want to make it go from maybe yellow to red. So we'll put yellow, and then the maximum red. Or we can uncheck that, something like that. I don't know. Let me know if you like that. But anyways, you can change the way it's visualized, and that way you can quickly see some of the states with the larger or the lower average balances. All right. So I think we're going to finish up with this video. We've got a few more DAX measures we want to do in our next video and visualizations. Thanks for sticking with me, and we'll see you the next time. Thanks.